it's Allie Edwards, and in this video I want to give you a quick flip through of May, June, and July in my Project Life albums. I was able to get January through June in one album, and then I am starting another 9x12 that will be for the second half of the year. So essentially what I wanted to do is just kind of flip through these. Most of these have process videos. The entire month of May, all of those process videos are actually included in the stash class that I did this year, where I'm teaching people how to be the boss of their stash and use those pieces to get more of their stories told. So I'll just kind of do a quick flip through on these. You'll see lots of repetition. It's one of my most favorite things to do. Repeated cards, repeated embellishments added in. This year I'm also doing each week that has the first of the month is getting one of these monthly cards from our Stories by the Month kit. Here's a vellum that I added on top just by using embroidery floss there. So again, this is May, lots of flowers. Here's an insert with some tags, journaling on there, repeated embellishments here, lots of photos, just filling in the pockets with lots of photos. Here's using some story detailed chipboard pieces that I had been saving to use. Again, this is still May. More May. Here's, if you saw a recent video I did that's on YouTube for Project Life, where I did vellum over top of all of the 4x6 photos, and we'll see that here as we flip through. I also did another one recently, and this was again in that stash class, where I used vellum frames and I stamped on the vellum frames and then added those on top of each one of the 3x4 photos there. And then I'm adding in an insert here with a full page photo and a story, and then one of the prompt papers from a past kit there. This is the last week in May and then the beginning of June. So creating little embellishment clusters to add on there. Lots and lots of photos of flowers in my life. Here's that one that I was talking about. This is on YouTube, and you can see the full process video where I took vellum, a variety of different vellum pieces. These all, I think, are from the June Stories by the Month kit, except for this one was from something else. But adding that on top, getting to play with some embellishments. This was a really fun one to put together. And then cutting up pattern paper for the journal cards. That was week 23, week 24. This one of the highlights was doing journaling during the week itself. So in the moment, capturing different things that I capture when I go back in time. This was also a fun one over here. Has two cards. These were a couple pockets that I've had in my stash for a while, and those were able to fit inside of one. This is on YouTube also, and so is this one. The rest of these are all on YouTube or on the blog. And then here's week 25. This one, the unifying elements are cards from the Enjoy Story Kit, and then some stickers, little tab stickers. These are from the March Stories by the Month kit. Love those. Love to have the variety, right, between something that's super simple and then one like this, which takes a little more effort and playfulness, and which can be just as fun. Then we've got the last week in June here, and for this one I added tags on top of the on top of the pockets here, and then there's some cards behind there. These were vellum cards that were in the Stories by the Month kit for June. Then we've got chipboard on a few other pieces there. So that is through June in this album. I don't do an end page on here. I could, maybe I will, but let me show you what it looks like in the new album that I just started. Okay, so starting a new linen album. This is a 9x12 linen album. We have a few of these in the shop. We also have a navy blue 9x12 pleather album also, if you like this size. For the front of this one, what I have in here so far is I just looked through some of the quote cards that I have and picked out a couple of them. I'm going to add probably a couple more in here too, and then added in that this is going to be July through December. I think that's a fun way to start the second half of the album. So here's the first week in July. Did that vellum thing again with the red line tape. This time I did typed journaling and created a red border around there. This is available on YouTube. Same thing here, played around with this little shape. Then I got a picture of myself on the back, and then other journaling here to go along with those photos. And this one, I decided not to add anything directly onto the photos themselves. And I have some hidden journaling down here in this one. This is week 28, which was super fun. This was the week that if you're following me on Instagram, you saw me talk about this. I think I did a little video where I decided that during the week itself, I was going to document the temperature. So I played around with some fun number stamps there. And I had done, like I said, did all of that during the week, paired them with the photo, did the stitching down the side. And then when it came time to actually do the rest of the documentation, I created my own little collection of journal cards using two different pattern papers. So two different 12 by 12 pattern papers. One is the floral background. The other one had this shape repeated on it that I cut out to create these custom cards with a little bit of stitching on the top, and then used some of the little stickers from the July Stories by the Month kit, label stickers there added on. I think that these guys were from one of the One Little Word mini kits, but this was a fun one to put together. I really like, it's very bold, very graphic, felt like exactly what I wanted to do. This one is week 29 there. This was using the Foodie Story Play kit as a fun way to document. So focusing specifically on food. I've got the numbers stamped on top of these journaling cards that had different food related prompts on them. So that also was a fun one. And then added letter stickers on top of my photos. This is a total callback to things that I've done, that I used to do in 12 by 12 Project Life. And then the last week in July here is on the backside. For this particular week, I decided to focus on joys. I love the idea of, for some of these weeks, focusing on a specific theme, right? So this one was food. This one was joys. So looking back through my pictures and figuring out, what could I use to highlight different joys in this particular season. This is July Joys. I think this is from last year's, maybe the 2023 Stories by the Month kit. I also added some chipboard frames to the outside of 3 of my photos here. This is actually on the outside of the page protector. These are super cute frames from the Frames Scrapbook kit, and that's where actually these pattern papers are from there as well. So one of the things I loved about this particular spread is that I paired numbers with the photos, right? So I'm using one of these pieces of pattern paper, the prompt-based pattern papers, as a way to add some of my journaling in. So I'm not having to add it directly onto my photos, and it's an option, an alternative to having another page protector in there too. So just something that's a fun thing to choose. So all of the numbers correspond then with some of the different photos. And then I've got a few photos of Aaron's dad here because we had a memorial for him on this particular weekend. So I added a picture of him in here. This was actually, I digitally cut this out from something else that his mom had written down, did a little journaling around the outside, added some stitching on there, and then had a secondary photo of him down here, and then me with his trombone up there. So that's a look at May, June, and July in my 9x12 Project Life album, and I'm just continuing on. So we'll see you guys back here again soon.